Imanzi 105.1 FM.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
Tuned to Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umugam. The headlines. The judiciary of Rwanda and Pepperdine School of Law's Global Justice Institute have today signed an MOU on a plea bargaining project. The Ministry of Local Government has launched a program called Active Holidays, which aims at assisting the youth in talent development. Ugandan President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and his Somali counterpart Hassan Sheikh Mohamud have called on the United Nations Security Council to lift an arms embargo on Somalia to build the capacity to manage its security mandate. Welcome back. Now, news in detail. The judiciary of Rwanda and Pepperdine School of Law's Global Justice Institute have today signed an MOU on a plea bargaining project aimed at strengthening the capacity of institutions in the criminal justice chain to prosecute and adjudicate criminal cases. The Chief Justice, Dr. Faustin Nesijayo, said faced with the rapid increase of criminal cases, institutions of the criminal justice chain have been holding discussions and consultations so as to exchange views on measures to be taken in order to deal with this situation. In addition, the Chief Justice said a study has been carried out that led to a draft criminal justice policy that has yet to be adopted by the competent authority. Some recommendations made invite us to rethink the way we used to consider some aspects of the criminal justice system and accept to change our mindset and embrace deep structural reforms that will increase fairness and ensure proportionate punishment without sacrificing public safety. He said, adding this step will act as curtain raiser to the future of plea bargaining in Rwandan justice system. The Ministry of Local Government has launched a program called Active Holidays, which aims at assisting the youth in talent development, as well as preventing them from engaging in bad habits while they are having their holidays. Gaston Shibigango has more on this report.
It is a program that will be held in all districts of the country in order to assist the students who are in holidays to make use of their time and improve their talents. Through the program, they will be taught values that characterize Rwandans and other things. This program also includes activities like productive discussions, games, entertainment, talent shows, and more. Some of the young people participating in these programs say that this will help them develop.
I'm happy because this helps me to develop my talent. I play basketball. Coming here to exercise helps me to avoid bad habits. Exercising helps me mentally, but also assists me in development.
I play basketball. This program will help me a lot because here they prepare various competitions. Among those competitions include one which concerns those under 16 years. So if we keep exercising well, we'll have a chance to join other big teams, and that will help us improve. Wamahoro Deborah, one of the parents and the coach of the children, says that this program will support parents in raising children but also help children avoid engaging in bad habits.
I thank the government for this program of assisting the youth in holidays. It helps them in various ways, like protecting them from bad habits like unwanted pregnancies, drug addiction, and using inappropriate languages. The other good thing of the program is that it will entertain the youth, and through that, their talents will be revealed. And by this program, they will develop their talents and benefit from them.
The Minister of Local Government, Gatabazi John, urged parents to assist children during these activities so that it can benefit them. He also encouraged children to join the activities. As the theme of this program says, holidays with purpose, my value. You have to be purposeful. You will find time for entertainment, but I have to remind parents that are here to remember that they have a great responsibility. There are some activities that have been going on, activities of enjoyment, which happens at some stadiums, hotels, or even parties that happen in various places. Most of those activities are not of Rwandan values. In those activities, there are some children who consume drugs, alcoholic drinks, and it was seen that all those activities are done by children and the youth. And even if you have been a grown-up, being drunk is not a culture of Rwandans. And when you start to consume drugs at a young age, it destroys your life and plans. We urge all Rwandans, especially parents, to work with us in this program so that we can help our country in raising our children, but also assist local institutions in encouraging children to join these programs. It is expected that this program that was officially launched will end on the 8th of September. It will be held in various cells twice a week.
Following a successful operation of Rwanda's first elite coding school in Nyabihu district, the government has announced plans to build 4 more centers of excellence in a bid to increase the pool of well-trained engineers in major sectors of the economy. The plan was announced as the Nyabihu-based Rwanda Coding Academy, which started in 2019, graduated its first cohort of 58 students. Hirgo Felix has more on this report.
According to the Ministry of ICT and Innovation, the second Coding Academy will open in September in Muhanga District, Southern Province, and the third will be built next year in Eastern Province. 60 students who completed the ordinary level as best performers in science, math, and languages will be enrolled in a newly built school in Muhanga. The Minister of ICT and Innovation, Ingabire Paola, said the idea of establishing these coding schools was to train future engineers from a young age of 15 to 17, when they are eager to learn and do new things. The Coding Academy in Muhanga, which was one of the presidential pledges, will offer coding programs and probably robotics. So these special model schools will help to expand a pipeline of students who are well trained, and partners are increasingly willing to help build these schools. Having completed the 3-year curriculum of programming, the students at Academy in Nyabihu have raised hopes that their country can have locally trained engineers who will work in government institutions and the private sector. Some of the software programs developed by the first cohort are already used in different government institutions. According to the Rwanda TVET Board, RTB, which coordinates all technical and vocational programs, the country's goal is to have as many TVET centers of excellence as possible. Paul Mukunzi, RTB's Director General, said the long-term strategy is to have centers of excellence in all districts, which will provide skills needed in different sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, construction, and manufacturing. The goal is to make every TVET school a center of excellence, but that is a long journey which requires a lot of capacity, which is not easily available. Mukunzi said Muhanga Coding School is currently recruiting trainers among other preparations ahead of opening next month. The coding schools are built in collaboration with the Ministries of ICT and Ministry of Education. Felix reports.
A training program has been launched for prosecutors and inspectors on the use of technology in issuing indictments against suspects. Gaston Chibikango has more.
The training is expected to save time spent on a case, speed up files, and work in a harmonized way. According to Marius Jules Ntete, the Inspector General of the National Public and Prosecution Authority, the development is in line with easing the work of prosecutors, which is in the backlog of cases in the judiciary. He said the National Public and Prosecution Authority wanted to curb the issue of a big number of dossiers in prosecution, as well as introduce innovation and smart workflow in various services provided on a daily basis. basis. In addition, he pointed out that with this digitized indictment, they have already prepared similar elements to be used by all prosecutors countrywide, explaining that previously each prosecutor used to prepare an indictment alone, which made it vulnerable to abuse. He said the first exercise was to identify the number of charges that exist out of the 35 laws, which he said came to 527. Speaking at the same occasion, Faustin Nkusi, the spokesperson of NPPA, said that the electronic indictment comes with a lot of advantages. Instead of drafting the indictment either outside of the system or within the system, they will be able to have charges set in the system and only feed in the charge the suspect faces and follow the process. He explained, adding that this will take much less time. It will be easy for prosecutors to access the charges, their elements and evidence, as well as all required information that is ready for the charges against the accuser, and it will be an easy way of drafting the file to be submitted to the court. Nkusi mentioned that the training will be scaled up to all prosecutors across the country, stating that this is a pilot and has started with the officers at the intermediate courts.
Districts that border with Gishwati Mukura National Park have said that fresh measures are being tightened to crack down on illegal mining activities that threaten the protected forest. Officials said the first crackdown follows different cases that are being recorded. Hirgo Felix with more on this report.
Gishwati Mukura National Park was recently designated as UNESCO Biosphere Reserve after being restored at a cost of $9.5 million since 2014 and was handed over in 2020 for tourism activities. It was restored after being nearly depleted, largely due to resettlement, livestock farming, and illegal mining in mineral-rich forests. Despite restoration, the district has said that the illegal mining activities are still posing a threat to the reserve, which accommodated a group of 20 chimpanzees that live alongside golden monkeys, lowest and blue monkeys, 395 species of birds, and 492 indigenous plant species. Etienne Havugimana, the vice mayor in charge of economic development in the Rutsiro district, said that they are organizing meetings with the local leaders, especially village and Isibo leaders, noting that they are the ones who have more information about those involved in illegal mining that is threatening Gishwati Mukura National Park. He added that a list of businesses suspected of employing local people in illegal mining activities is also being prepared. Evariste Banzingerero, a resident of Gashubi-Sel, Ngororero district, said that the residents have been supported to learn different income projects such as pig farming, among others, as alternatives to seeking income from poaching activities in Gishwati Mukura National Park. However, he said there are those who are employed in illegal mining that threatens the forest. 7 people have been arrested in Ngororero district after they were found mining wolfram illegally in Gishwati Mukura National Park. They were arrested in an operation conducted by Rwanda National Police in the park on the side of Gatovu village, Mugarura-Sel, Muhanda sector. Superintendent of Police Bonaventure Twizere Karekezi, the police spokesperson for the Western region, said that illegal mining activities were reported by local residents. The suspects and exhibits were handed over to Rwanda Investigation Bureau at Kabaya Station for further legal investigations. I remind the public that the illegal mining, particularly the protected areas and vandalized forests, are practices that are punished by the law.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
Now the Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. The trading session recorded its total turnover of 200,400,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in one deal on the fixed income market and 1,835,600 Rwandan francs from 11,800 shares traded in 3 deals on the equities market. Bank of Kigali closed the counter at 272 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded its turnover of 1,577,600 Rwandan francs from 5,800 shares traded in 2 deals. I&M Bank closed the counter at 43 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded its turnover of 258,000 Rwandan francs from 6,000 shares traded in 1 deal. Bredgwa closed the counter at 165 Rwandan francs, Simergwa at 120 Rwandan francs, MTN Rwanda at 177 Rwandan francs, Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uchumi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. The currency market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.5 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 8.7 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 and the selling price was 0.44. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.263 and the selling price was 0.268. Burundian franc buying price was 0.49 and the selling price was 0.5. The US dollar buying price was 1,020 and the selling price was 1,040. The British pound buying price was 1,232 and the selling price was 1,257. The euro buying price was 1,042 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,063 Rwandan francs.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Kenya's Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has announced that it will not name the winner of the presidential election today. This is according to the agency's chair, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, who also acknowledged that third parties such as the media had already begun tallying using the available form. Ugandan President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and his Somali counterpart Hassan Sheikh Mohamud have called on the United Nations Security Council to lift an arms embargo on Somalia to build the capacity to manage its security mandate. In a joint communique, the two heads of state said they appreciated the support of the Security Council in the stabilization efforts in Somalia, but called upon the UN body to consider lifting the arms embargo to enable the country shoulder has security responsibilities. President Mohamud has been in Uganda for a 3-day state visit where he held bilateral talks with his host at the State House in Entebbe. The communique released after the talks and signed by Uganda's Foreign Affairs Minister and his Somali counterpart also touches on other areas of mutual interest including trade and investment. The Tunisian judiciary on today suspended the dismissal of some 50 judges decided in early June by President Kais Saied. On June 1st, the head of state had dismissed 57 judges by presidential decree, accusing them of corruption and obstructing several investigations. 53 judges of them filed appeals with the administrative court. An African security expert has warned the UN Security Council, saying that the threat from the Islamic State extremist group is growing by the day in Africa, and the continent could be the future of the caliphate. Martin Uwe said the Islamic State has expanded its influence beyond measure in Africa, with at least 20 countries directly experiencing the extremist group's activity and more than 20 others being used for logistics and to mobilize funds and other resources. He told a Security Council meeting on Secretary General Antonio Guterres' latest report on the threat posed by the Islamic State that after the extremists established the caliphate in Syria and Iraq, an international coalition came together and mounted a military campaign to defeat the IS. Terrorism was driven south into Africa, he said, but no similar coalition was mounted to defeat the group in Africa, meaning that the continent was left to bear the consequences of those who are fleeing Syria and finding safe havens on the continent. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.